Hey, what's up guys, Jedith here, and it is Incorporeal week. I have a couple tips that can help you get through this and make it so much easier with pugs, with coordinated groups. This basically makes the AFFIX completely free. It's pretty insane. So there's two things I want to show you. The first one is going to be incorporating the pinging system into whatever utility you're using to control the incorporeals. So for example, I use imprison to stop the ghosts, right? So I have a Mouseover Macro with imprison. I usually mouse over say this is a ghost here, I'll press the button and it gets CC'd. The problem is sometimes I do that while someone in my group is already casting their CC on it and trying to get it, because they have a cast time and I don't. So things you can do to kind of help with that is to add a ping into whatever you're using to CC. Now for me, mine is like instant cast, so it doesn't really help anyone for me to do that. It doesn't hurt, but it doesn't really help. But say you are a warlock and you cast fear to CC them. What you could do is make a macro like this. So it would be hashtag show tooltip /ping at target and /cast fear. So what this does when you press it, I'll put an example of my friend Cam doing it here. She's going to target the incorp, or the beetle in this case. She's going to press this button. First, it puts a ping on the target, so it alerts your group. So everyone's ears perk up and their eyes, and they see that that's been pinged. While that ping is happening, she's already casting her fear to then CC the mob. So when I see that, I can see that she's already casting on it. So I won't go and like snipe that incorp from her by, my quick mouse over imprison. And then she has to cancel her fear and then switch over to the other incorp. And by the time her cast gets off, it's either missed or she just barely got it. So it helps with that confusion. There is a couple ways you can do it. This one in particular is not a mouse over, so it all depends on how you personally take care of these incorporeals with your toolkit, with your spell, what you prefer, stuff like that. So this one is just at target. So if you want this one, you would take this and just replace fear with whatever ability you use on your class. If you want a mouse over one, you could do this. Show tooltip /ping /cast at mouseover, comma exists. And I have imprison here. Naturally, ping is always mouse over. Doesn't really matter. It's just always mouse over. Now the next tool is this week right here. It's called Borco Incorporeal. It looks like this. You can make it bigger or smaller, but it is a really advanced incorporeal tracker. Not just for when they're going to spawn, but how they're being taken care of within your group. So once you install this, just read the information here. It says display timer bars for each incorporeal that spawns. So you can see, for example, here there's 2 bars. Counts down until the destabilized cast goes off. That's the cast that they are casting that you want to stop and interrupt or CC them. If the AFFIX is CC'd, the bar will turn green. So it'll look like this, and it'll say whoever got it. Display the name of the player who CC'd the AFFIX. If the AFFIX is stunned, the bar will change yellow and show the time remaining on the stun. So for example, sometimes I don't have anything to get the incorpse, so I might throw a fell eruption on it, and that stuns it very temporarily for just a few seconds. So that would turn the bar yellow, and it would show a countdown of the remaining stun on that bar. And that works for other people in your group. Say you're playing with a paladin, and they hodge it, right? They use Hand of Justice, I think it's called? Yeah. And that's just a very temporary stun for that mob. Once that hodge falls off, that incorporeal ghost is going to start casting Destabilize again. So you need to know. So it'll show that here. So it'll show your party member, casted on it, and it turned yellow, and it'll show the remaining cooldown on the hodge. The bar will turn pink if a player is casting a CC and has the AFFIX targeted. So this is very useful. And this kind of helps with what we were just talking about with the ping macro. So if I'm in a group with Cam, my warlock friend here, and she has an incorp targeted and she's casting her fear on it, it should in theory turn this bar pink because she has it targeted and she's working on that one. Where it gets complicated is if she's using a Mouseover Macro. Now thankfully she's not, but in the case that somebody is using a Mouseover Macro, the weak aura can't quite pick up on that because that character is not technically targeting that incorp. So it struggles to make the connection, but there is a way around that. If everyone in your group has this weak aura, then the weak auras can communicate between each other. It says, unfortunately, the only way you can get a notification of a CC precast that's done with a Mouseover is if the caster also has the weak aura installed. The game doesn't seem to support getting another player's Mouseover target directly, so I made the weak aura able to communicate between instances of itself to support Mouseover casts. If everyone in the group has it installed, Mouseovers end up being even more reliable than standard casts. They don't need to have it, but if somebody in your group is kind of using Mouseover macros to use their CC, that part of it might not work. But like I said, the first tip that I gave you, the ping, should kind of help in that area. So I hope that helps. This week is Incorp week. It's actually a very easy week. It's Incorp and Spiteful, so it's a great push week. And hopefully this tip actually stays helpful into the next season. We don't know what they're doing with the fixes. We don't know if they're getting rid of them, keeping some, getting rid of some. Incorp might be staying. It might not be staying. We might be getting rid of it. We'll see. Time will tell. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Peace.